We very much welcome the initiative of the Global Platform and commend both the United Nations and the government of Mexico for organizing and hosting this 2017 Global Platform, the first landmark event after the 2015 Sendai meeting, which gives us an opportunity to take stock of progress. We too recognize that too many countries are still suffering major economic and social losses from disasters, and economic losses are only increasing as a result of increased vulnerability. While countries have made strides in strengthening their institutions and regulations to manage and reduce disaster risks, progress remains patchy. To assist these efforts and support governments take a strategic approach, the OECD has developed an integrated set of policy advice for governments to help them mainstream and implement effective risk management policies. The 2014 OECD recommendation on the governance of critical risks, which contributed to inserting a governance dimension in developing the Sendai framework in 2015, emphasizes the importance of effective governance and the values also of peer learning and peer reviews. The OECD recommendation on disaster risk financing strategies, which was adopted by the OECD Council in February this year, provides specific guidance to support countries in managing the financial impact of disasters, including through the use of insurance and risk transfers mechanisms. In addition, we want to call attention to the 2016 OECD recommendation on water, which recognizes the importance of managing water risks and disasters, water-related disasters, which is one pillar of that recommendation. While the Sendai Framework for Action is key in setting out a broad range of measures that governments may take, the main challenge now is to take action and implement measures. For this reason, the OECD is also monitoring progress in terms of how countries manage and govern their risks, assessing how our OECD recommendation, and in particular the 2014 recommendation on the governance of critical risks, are being implemented and sharing the lessons and good practices for country experience. We are just preparing a cross-country report of 35 countries, OECD and some non-OECD, on how they are making progress. What I can tell you is that while significant advances have taken place, progress remains patchy, even in the most advanced countries. The OECD is committed to producing, sharing, and diffusing evidence on what works and what does not to support the development and implementation of effective disaster risk management policies and financing strategies. OECD's commitment is to help create conditions for better and more sustainable inclusive economic growth, which will help to enhance economic, social, and financial resilience. We have also taken action to collect indicators and investigate what is the evidence base, and we did contribute to the open-ended indicators working group established in the follow-up to Sendai, and we'll have an OECD publication on that topic before the end of the year. The OECD stands ready to contribute, identifying good practices in risk management, prevention and preparedness and financing, as well as collecting data to support the measurement of disaster losses, as well as public expenditures related to disaster risk management. What we notice is that very few countries even know how much they spend on RICH and how much is their expenditure. We are currently engaged in the context of the CBU action plan with a number of countries in APEC to assess the implications of disasters for public finances in terms of fiscal risks. We are also laying the ground for comparative analysis of critical infrastructure policy frameworks and assessing risk financing strategies for particular risks, such as floods, for example, for which we had an event last year. Effective risk governance is particularly critical in the most fragile and conflict-prone areas where resilience of societies needs to be nurtured. The need to resolve governance gaps, the need to restore trust and to foster openness and accountability are also key for building resilience in the future. Working along these principles will help to ensure coherence with the 2015 Sustainable Development Frameworks. In response to countries' request for support in strengthening their risk policies and practices, the OECD provides comparative analysis, and we do carry out benchmarking and peer reviews and implementation support. And we did have earlier this week an OECD event on the kind of peer learning that we promote. The OECD is committed to helping countries and communities create better policies for better lives by building more resilient societies and economies. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.